Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 3. I know you've had a busy week 2 and wanted to provide some insights into some of the reading this week and key points that I want you considering as part of this course for this week and the work you're doing. Let's take on that topic of leadership here for a few minutes. If you Google the definition of leadership, there are about 3 bazillion options, right? And the research certainly offers us some as well. Leadership itself, by definition, is some sort of influence, some sort of motivation, some way that we impact others in a way to be able to take them to a goal. So it's something that I do, it's some influence that I have, but I have to be taking them somewhere. And in my humorous voice, I'll say if I'm taking them somewhere and nobody's coming with me, I'm out taking a walk. So you really have to meet people where you're at and bring them with you. Think about what you believe leadership is. Consider what you've practiced over the years or you've observed in others over the years about what effective leaders do. Now remember, effective leaders may have a goal or outcome in mind that is not healthy or positive or takes good care of people. So we know there's this influence piece and this goal piece. And I want you to be able to use your influence for good, right? That's what we're working on. That's what we're teaching here. And I want you to understand that if you don't bring your people with you, right, that's not really leading. And the book introduces us to some ideas also about the notion of followership, which seems maybe at first glance a little cultish. But the idea is that people have to join us on this journey. And what do we need to do to be a good follower? Because all of us are, in some aspect of our life, we're following a leader in order to move our team forward or organization, whatever that is. We play many, many roles. We want to think about the importance of growing leaders at all levels. So leaders are not managers. Managers are not leaders, right? We recognize that managing is about planning, controlling, directing, and organizing. Leading is about inspiring and motivating people towards a goal. And we need both. So we have some people who are in leadership roles as identified in our organizations because they have influence and impact. But they may be managing processes. They may be supervising people and performance and specific work. But we also want to think about how we grow leaders. So even if I'm that bank teller, I'm that janitor, I'm a frontline machinist, right? Any of those individual contributor roles, along with so many, literally many beyond that, but any individual contributor role, I can still have that teller take the lead with that customer, that member, about how they're caring for them or supporting them or helping them get to their goals. I want individuals at all levels to know what leadership means in their role. Maybe it's with a project, maybe it's with a customer, maybe it is in influencing up or influencing sideways. So many ways to think about how we as organizations have to grow leaders to that next level. There's no one best style of leadership. Consider that for a few minutes, right? What we know about organizations today is the best leaders are able to go into a situation, see things from different perspective, adjust their approach to be able to match the needs of this situation. It doesn't mean that they're inconsistent. They need to be authentically them, but that effective leaders have some adaptability today to adjust based on changing circumstances. And while there are many theories of leadership, and you're reading those this week, all of them offer a different view. There's no one perfect theory. I don't think it's possible to have one theory that covers all of it. What you're seeing are different theories on different aspects of leadership and what we've learned from the research on it and how our thinking has evolved. I think today, more so in organizations, we recognize that there are, hopefully you've had the experience of working with or for a really great leader. I think probably we recognize it more so when there is an absence of leadership. So consider that this week. What does that look like? If there is an absence of leadership, what is the impact and what fills that void? Does it get filled? What does it get filled with? I think it's maybe an interesting question in our organizations. I can think of a number of examples where we've had someone who was in a key role who should have been an effective leader. And when they're not, other people end up covering for them, if you will. We just pick up the slack. We redistribute the stuff that has to get done. And unfortunately, we spend a lot of energy working around that person because they are not the leader we need. So many details and layers to leadership. And this isn't a new topic, right? We've been talking about leaders since the beginning of humans. This is an important topic to understand the role and the influence of leaders in an organization and how ultimately that helps us drive results. As you look at the material this week, my hope is that you recognize those leaders in your life that had an impact and why they had that impact. I know in my own experience, I worked for who I thought was an effective leader for many, many years. But the closer I got and the more she let me in, I also learned where she was not effective, what her weaknesses were, what limitations she had as a leader. And in many ways, I think that was almost more powerful in some ways to help me understand that every leader has their strengths and every leader has their limitations. And our best leaders understand what their limitations are. And I want you as emerging leaders or developing leaders, many of you've had lots of leadership experiences, some of you are newer to this, is that when leaders can remain humble and transparent and authentic, when they can recognize weaknesses and surround themselves with people who play to their weaknesses as strengths, right? That they understand I've got to have people around me who compliment me, not like in gratitude, but in understanding, God, they're good at something I'm not. All right. We talked a little bit about that in class last week, but I want to just emphasize those points today as you're looking at the material, as you're looking around your organization, and really consider the impact of leadership and what that means in your teams and your company. Thanks for tuning in for a few minutes. Hopefully that just gets you stirred up a little bit as you look at the reading, as you look at the discussion question for this week. Consider your own. What are those strengths you hold? What are those development plans that you have in place? And pose some questions back out to the group so that we can help stretch each other to that next level. What would it help you do to grow to that next level? I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.